We are live now. You can start, Pallavi.
So we are live.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes, sir. We are about to start. Yeah.
Right. Good
Good
evening
day.
to everybody.
Yeah.
Uh, at the very outset, I should be thankful to Anajari team for conducting such programs to enlighten the people of really the northeast states. We should be very thankful to the team.
Yeah.
Here, there are many comparisons between northeast states and even Telangana. We can say that Telangana got bifurcated from the integrated state, Andhra Pradesh, after a prolonged struggle, almost for 3 or 4 decades. And there is a considerable change, development, one must agree, with regard to education and other activities.
Yeah.
And the seven sisters, or we can call eight sisters of there are eight sisters or seven sisters in the northeast states. They are struggling a lot, really. There is some gap between the whole nation and these states, these seven sisters or eight sisters. So one has to look at them with a great uh, empathy, not sympathy. I would like to call it empathy. And one has to really look at them and plunge into action whenever or wherever necessary.
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah. Uh, Thank you so much, sir, for starting the session so well. So a very good evening to all our viewers. Hope you all are really doing well. And here we are with another remarkable session to make your Sunday evening an enriching one. So I, Pallavi De, on behalf of Anachori, would like to take this opportunity to welcome each and everyone to our Sunday live webinar where we engage with our speakers who are inspirational personalities from the field of education. Before we move on with the session, I would like to let our new viewers know what actually Anajori is. Well, Anajori is a non-profit organization founded by Mr. Milind Datta in the year 2017. The basic objective of this platform is to connect and promote initiatives of various kinds that are striving for social change, building leadership and entrepreneurship skills in Assam and northeastern region of India. For past few months, we have been trying to engage in our mission by effectively using this virtual platform where we invite people who have been exemplary examples in different walks of life to share their inspirational journey of struggles and achievements, which can definitely encourage hundreds of others to get inspired, learn, and strive hard in their own journeys and be an asset to our own society. Moving on with our session, Nelson Mandela once said, quote, education is the most powerful weapon which can be used to change the world, unquote. And today we are grateful to have among us an individual who has wholeheartedly and consistently worked in the field of education and is an eminent name mainly in the field of tribal education in India. We have Mr. Srinivasa Kumar Sri Ramakavacham. Welcome to our platform, sir. Srinivasa sir is an officer in special duty in the field of education entrusted with the work of Telangana Tribal Welfare Residential Educational Institution Society, Hyderabad. In the 31 years of his service in various cadres, he has completed 21 years of service in tribal agency area in Khammam district. He has worked with Tribal College of Teacher Education in Bhadrachalam, the first of his kind in the entire Asia for 4 batches. He conducts several trainings, events, and programs at state level and activities in institutional levels. He is also instrumental in getting students in IITs, NITs, MBBS, and other professional courses, and is also in charge of Super Students live lectures in TSET channel. Altogether, the list won't end if I keep on saying about Sir. He is a man who has been pivotal in shaping tribal education and nurturing bright students all throughout his career. Sir, on behalf of the entire team, I would like to welcome you on board once again for today's webinar, and we are really looking forward to have an enriching session ahead. So today we are basically going to talk on various programs and activities in tribal welfare gurukulams for the all-round development of the students. So sir, we look forward to knowing some detailed insights about how this well-recognized gurukulams working significantly in the field of tribal education really works. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Pallavi. Thank you once again. Thanks to Anajari team. And I invite all my friends to join this prestigious meeting.
Yes, sir.
Webinar.
We would love to have everyone on
Thank
board.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Really, tribal welfare in Telangana state, tribal welfare Gurukulam institutions are playing a vital role in the development of Telangana state. Ever since the state got bifurcated from the integrated state in 2014, there has been a remarkable change, remarkable development in the number of institutions, not only in the number, it is not a number game. There is a considerable change in the number of achievements at national level and international level as well. That is the remarkable change that we find after bifurcation of the state. Here, the greatness of Gurukulam, the most of the part, the 75% of the greatness, almost all the greatness goes to our legendary secretary, our visionary secretary, Dr. R.S. Praveen Kumar, IPS. Really, he is very busy, but he looks after everything. He is in charge of tribal welfare and even Ekalavya model residential schools also. He is the secretary of social welfare residential schools. There is only 9% of population, 9 to 10% of population in Telangana state. But the institutions are really 150 to 170, right from lowest level, right from class 1 to degree. We have established nearly 180 institutions, including Ekalavya model residential schools, which have been just separated this academic year. Before that, we had 185 residential schools, tribal welfare for total. Here, the mini Gurukulams are there, funded by the central government. Just they are first to class 5, class 1 to class 5.
Okay.
They are exclusively for tribal girls who are not at all accessible to education in the remote interior tribal hamlets. That is the first point, where, of course, the teachers are also almost 95% of the teachers, almost 100% of the teachers are tribal teachers. All are women teachers. All are women teachers. They teach them. So here, the very purpose of these Gurukulams are just to make them literates. and we will take them. The Gurukulams are running right from class 6 to degree level. 6 to intermediate, they are all running in one institution. 6 to intermediate, plus 2 level, I mean. And degree colleges are separate entity, running under the same management. So naturally, the activities that we take up,
Yeah.
the initiatives are the best practices that we do, practice at institution level are exemplary, are really remarkable. Yes, that is why these institutions have really got that reputation all over India. So here naturally, these institutions, before our secretary came into power, and I mean assumed charge, they were just educational institutions. We did not have any curricular, co-curricular or extracurricular activities. But when he assumed charge, Dr. R.S. Praveen Kumar, IPS, actually he was a police officer, but he is very much interested in education. He has reformed the way education has been run in the state. There are many other Gurukulam institutions in the state. There are really 900 plus Gurukulam institutions. There are many managements also. First of all, in 1970, it was P.V. Narasimha Rao, the late Prime Minister, the then Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh. He established the first residential school in Nalgonda district. Later on, gradually the number increased, and there were social welfare schools, tribal welfare schools also bifurcated from the general society, and minority schools, BC welfare schools. So like that, the names have there are many boards now. There are many managements now. But all the other managements are following the path of social and tribal welfare societies. It is only because of one-man leadership. So we are all thankful to him. That is why these institutions have become renowned at national level.
So it has been a long journey, sir, like
Yes.
from the scratch to becoming a recognized institutions in the entire nation.
Truly.
So it's really been a long journey. Yeah.
And coming to the activities that we take up,
Yeah.
the best practices that we take up. Let me share the screen.
Yes, sir.
Please, let me have that opportunity. Please permit me. Right. Okay, before it begins, I would like to yes.
Yeah.
Is it visible to all?
Yeah, sir, it is.
Yes.
Yeah, you can.
There are all our activities are classified into three: curricular, co-curricular, extracurricular. Of course, all curricular activities are related to textbook, syllabus, exams, all these things. Whereas the co-curricular activities are very different in our society. I am proud to say that there are many such activities. In the evening hours, we take up club activities. It is an enlightening program for almost 45 minutes to 1 hour. Every day we will have a different club activity. It may be in English, it may be in mathematics, physics, or any other subject, even STEMs. All such club activities. On Saturday, we will have some quiz also, so that they will have some enlightenment in many areas that we are trying to focus. So that is the first thing in the evening hours. Whereas our daily activities, daily routine begins with early morning with physical exercises, yoga, all these things. All these instructional hours are very common. And there are many activities I would like to give focus for personality development, for maintaining sound health, for improvement of skills, for cultivation of good pastime or hobbies, for nurturing leadership qualities, for making good managers, for fostering values, for providing enriching experiences, for inculcating moral values. So these are a part of our daily routine. That is why these clubs in the evenings make a big change in the attitude of the students. Actually, 10 years ago, there was no English medium in our institutions. I think when compared to our state, Northeast states are far better. Almost they have all English medium schools for a long time. Am I right, Pallavi?
Yes, sir.
Yes. We used to have only our vernacular, Telugu only, or sometimes it may be Telugu, Hindi or Urdu in and around Hyderabad. Whereas there was a radical change in the thinking, and the officials wanted to introduce English as the medium of instruction in all institutions. So there was some problem with the teachers as well. Of course, for the students, it was a fourth language because their native language is different. They have got mother tongue their mother tongue is different. In our state, we have got 33 types of tribal communities. I don't know the communities that are present existing in the Northeast states. Could you please tell me?
Sir, tribal communities in Northeast.
Tribal communities in the Northeast states.
So we have Khasis, Garos, Nagas, and a wide varieties of communities. So we have subdivisions of tribal communities. Yeah.
Subcastes, subcommunities. Yes, here in our state, we have got 33 types of communities, tribal communities. And the major one is Lambada or Banjara, what we call them Sugali in our, in other states, they call them Sugali. In our state, we call them Banjara or Lambada. It is a major community, whereas the others are almost 25 to 30%.
Excuse me,
Each
sir.
of them, there is a different communal group. They are called PVTGs, particularly vulnerable tribal groups. Particularly vulnerable tribal groups. They are on the verge of extinction. Just they are in hundreds or thousands in population.
Could I please interrupt for a minute? Are you sharing a PowerPoint because we are not able to see any?
No, sir. No, sir. Just I am explaining.
Okay, because the PowerPoint is not open yet, so I just was only.
I have stopped it somewhere and I am explaining it.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
So here, particularly vulnerable tribal groups are very on the verge of extinction, and they are to be taken care of. Because after some time, we may not hear their names, their titles. So our Gurukulam has some special schools for them also. It's a great achievement on our part. There are some schools in Mahabubnagar district or in Adilabad district, specially for these PVTG groups. And our secretary has decided to have some exposure for them. They should be brought to the city, Hyderabad, because they don't want to leave their native place. They even don't want to go to their next village also. They want to stay back there only. But here, we, with a great strenuous effort, we brought them to Hyderabad, almost 300 to 400 kilometers away from their native places. We are trying to provide coaching to them in IIT, intermediate, of course, +2 level, what you call, +2 level integrated course. +2 level combined integrated with IIT coaching or IIT JEE mains, advanced, and a NEET coaching also, so that they join very good professional courses, prestigious institutes at national level. And this time we have succeeded also. Just 2 years ago, we established those colleges in and around Hyderabad, and 2 of them got seats, admissions in NITs at national level. A great achievement, a remarkable achievement on our part. So where the people do not want to leave their native places, they are brought to Hyderabad, 400 kilometers away from their places, and they are exposed to different kinds of lectures, and they are given special coaching in communication skills also, because they do not know even Telugu also sometimes, the mother tongue of the state. It is also not known to them. Such people, they are now able to speak in English only within a span of 2 years. Now they have cracked seats in NITs and IITs as well.
Okay. So that's
That's
really a great achievement, sir.
That is
It's
really-
all the result
Yes.
of all the hard works that you all put into them.
Yes,
Yeah.
really, it is also a great, remarkable thing.
So,
So here, yes,
Sir, are you going to share the PPT or?
definitely, sure,
So yeah, so that
So,
will be better, I guess, or is the screen is being captured? Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
So there are many activities, club activities. Here you can see Eco Club, daily clubs, H plus, Hindi plus, Telugu plus, E plus, writing plus. Of course, they are not there. Physics, all those activities. And Saturday clubs. We will have different clubs on Saturdays.
So,
Yes.
sir, the PPT is not visible.
Visible?
Actually.
Not visible?
It's not visible. Yeah.
What happened? How is it now? Not visible?
No, sir. So you can stop the screen sharing and then try again, sir, if you want to.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure.
Also, our team can share the PPT, sir, if you're okay with it.
Okay, yes, no problem.
Yeah.
Sure,
Yes, sir. Geeta Smita can do it for us. Yeah.
right.
So you can move on with what you're explaining. Yeah.
Okay, okay.
About the
Right,
activities.
right.
Yeah.
Okay. Meanwhile,
Shall you have to stop your screen share option? Then can only I have to share.
shall I stop it, ma'am?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, now you can.
So yes, till the PPT gets shared, sir. So I would like to continue with what we were talking about, like the activities and the clubs.
Right.
Yeah.
So our government or our management is trying to create opportunities for the students. So that is how we conduct some camps during summer. They are very exclusive for the students. Summer Samurai, we call it. Summer Samurai. So in which we try to provide various types of skill development to the students. It may be in English speaking, it may be in coding, it may be mission, some other photography, journalism, many other skills. And public art of speaking. Many such programs are conducted during summer, because whenever our students go home during summer, they have to work there. They forget everything. They have to eke out their livelihood working in the fields. They have to help their family. They have to support their family. For that, they forget everything and they may not be able to come back soon after the reopening. That is why we want to retain them for 20 more days with various such activities. So in this program, we want to engage knowledge partners from outside. So we engage them, we hire them for 15 to 20 days. They teach our students various skills in which our students are interested. Some may be interested in journalism, some may be interested in drone making, yes, coding, all such things, even aero modeling like that. All such skills are taught during these 20 days. So it is a prestigious program and all the officials are engaged. We will be visiting all the camps. They are spread all over the state. And in each camp, we will have 200 to 300 students.
Okay.
Yes. And we will be visiting them. We try to know how the camps are effective, how effectively they are running. So these camps give a lot of exposure to our students. And after that, after SSC or 10th class, they may opt for such courses. So we are trying to imbibe such interest. We are trying to develop such interest. All of them may not be well versed in education. That is our motto. Everybody, every student cannot become an engineer or a doctor or somebody else. They can choose whatever course they want. This is the motto of the camps. That is why we teach them many such courses and try to develop their skills. That is how we are trying to engage them during summer also for 20 days.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, sir, that's really nice to know. And sir, when I was going through your PPTs, I came across a thing like their teachers, their recognitions for teachers, like they are given a Bharat Yatra kind of a thing. And so what do you think, like, what does such kind of recognitions works in this way?
Yes. I want to explain that one also. Here, there are some teachers who excel in various activities. We conduct new seminars under new quality policy. Some teachers may get more than 80% marks also. We recognize their services and we give away best teacher awards to some of the teachers. They are also selected for this kind of Bharat Darshan. And we take them on a tour for 8 or 10 days. And even the students are there who excel in these camps and who excel in education, who excel in achieving ranks in admissions, IITs, NITs, NEET, all these things. And even rank holders at SSC and plus 2 level, 10th and plus 2 level. All these best students along with the best teachers, selected teachers, they are sent on a tour for 8 to 10 days to visit very important places all over India. Of course, unfortunately, the IRCTC has never selected any Northeast states. We have seen only states, South and North only. I have seen, yes, Delhi and such, Jaipur, all such remote places. And the students get exposure when they visit such wonderful places because they never get a chance. They can never imagine that they would visit such places like Delhi or Jaipur or like that. That's how they get excited. And there is a great competition to join those Bharat Darshan teams. And our secretary has planned to make it Vishwadarshan also. Yes, world tour, world darshan.
Okay.
And the secretary wants to take the best ones, either students or teachers, to the world tour for 10 days or like that, so that they can never forget such beautiful experiences in their life. They can stand a role model to others, and they are the motivators to other people, to their classmates, to the next generations. So that is how we are trying to give exposure to students as well as teachers. And when it comes to residential schools, it is not only these residential schools. There are ashram schools also under the tribal welfare department, because these residential schools are a little bit expensive and they cannot reach the interior pockets of the state. There are ashram schools, almost 900 to 1,000 ashram schools run by the tribal welfare department, where the intake of the students will be based on the surroundings. The students will be taken from the surrounding places, and the teachers also, almost all of them are tribals. They will be teaching them in their own languages, vernaculars, so that the students can follow the teaching very easily. Whereas our residentials are state level organization, and we select these students through an entrance. There are two entrance points, entry level points, class 5 and intermediate, +2 level. At class 5, we take them through an entrance that is going to be held shortly now for the next academic year. And at the same time, at +2 level also, after 10th class. So we conduct a test. We try to get the best students from all over across the state. And we try to provide as much or as best coaching as possible in our hands, because our teachers are well qualified. That is the greatness of this system. Our teachers are almost 75 to 80% are postgraduates.
Okay.
Yes. There are many cadres, TGTs, trained graduate teachers, postgraduate teachers, principals, of course, PD, PETs are already there. They engage them in sports. And we do not look down the sports department also. They are as equal as the curricular activities. We conduct state level, regional level sports meets. And the best students are taken to the state level meets. And they will be given cash prizes, mementos, all these things. It is a great festival to the students.
Okay, yeah.
Yes.
So as you just now mentioned about the ashram schools,
Yes.
so are there also provisions of like village learning centers to reach
Yes,
the
yes, I will.
rural
Yes.
of the places?
Yes, I am coming to that. And these schools are really catering to the needs, educational needs of the students at remote areas, as well as in and around the towns as well. And here I want to mention that COVID has totally collapsed or almost brought a hiatus in the educational scenario.
Yes.
So when the schools closed down on from March 22nd onwards last year, 2020, we thought of engaging the students in different manners, because it was uncertain when the schools would reopen. Really, it was unimaginable. That is why we wanted to engage them through Jnana Diksha. Jnana Diksha means lectures given by, live lectures given by our teachers. And the students can watch them in their mobiles at home or in their TVs at home. So that way, we wanted to bridge the gap, learning gaps, because almost 1 month was there. After 1 month, we began these Jnana Diksha live lectures of our teachers. That way, we began the stream. And it was running for 3 or 4 months, Jnana Diksha. After that, we wanted to engage the students in this great program. So we created VLCs, Village Learning Circles. It got international reputation also, because even the World Bank also mentioned about that. These village learning circles are managed by the students themselves. One monitor, coordinator, he will gather 7 to 10 students in and around his village, and he will be teaching them something from his own, from the prescribed textbooks. And anybody can join, even the village sarpanchas, even the village elders, even the local politicians also. They try to help these village level circles. They try to provide some blackboards, chalk pieces, crayons, all these things. Notebooks also they provided. So that's how these village level circles, village learning circles, really made a remarkable change in the learning scenario, because they bridged the learning gaps among the students. Almost 1 month ago, our schools reopened on February 1st only.
Okay.
So it was a gap of 10 months. In these 10 months, we conducted Jnana Diksha. We tried to provide some short video films on small concepts, and we sent them by mobile to their WhatsApp, so that they can learn small concepts, and they can visualize them in their mobile. They can watch them, so that they do not forget what they have learned, or they may be able to remember, because it is watching, it is viewing, so that they can remember what they see. And village level circles are a big hit, because they made all the people, all the others engaged in the program, and even the politicians also attended such programs. And in such programs, we try to give the best coordinator prizes at district level, cluster level, as many as possible, to encourage the students. Really, they struggled against the COVID. That really, it is a great thing on the part of the students.
Yes, I must say, so this has been really a commendable effort
Yes, it's a commendable job by the
in innovating the field of education, mainly
Yes.
in the time of COVID.
Yes, really. And moreover, even our students also, our teachers also visited weekly 2 or 3 village learning circles. Yeah, almost thrice or 4 times a week. Whether they are running effectively or not, they were trying to give some academic inputs to the coordinators. So these students or these teachers also really did a commendable job during COVID. So this is all a brainchild of our secretary. And one more thing I would like to add is, we have got special schools in our Gurukulams. Special schools are, as I have already told you, every student may not become a doctor or an engineer or an officer. They may opt for various courses. That is why we have established 5 different or special schools for our students. One of them is Fine Arts School. We teach them music, songs, drawing, painting, tabla, guitar, of their own choice, their own interest. Yes, it is a big hit once again because they are winning state level awards also in the competitions. So within a span of 2 or 3 years, they are able to make a big hit. So it is a commendable job once again by our teachers. And we have established Sainik School, one Sainik School, the lone of its kind in India. Exclusively for tribals. Only tribal students join this. Those who are interested to become military officers, they will crack the entrance test conducted for them, and they will join this course at class 6, and they are now, of course, just it was established 2 or 3 years ago, and they are also shining. And up to +2 level, we are trying to provide. And this year, from next year onwards, just from next academic year onwards, we want to have a separate Armed Forces College for degree students. We are planning, it is on cards. Shortly, it is going to be established. It is going to be open. Right? And there are 2 more schools and exclusive schools. There are freedom schools. It is a new concept. Of course, it is popular in other countries where the students teach themselves. The teachers are just facilitators. They will guide them. They will monitor them. They will help them. They will assist them. Just they are a sage on the stage. They keep themselves aside. The whole show is made by the students themselves. There will be active participation by the students. Thus, just the teacher will guide them how to teach, how to make the show, how to run the show. So it is an experiment. All these are experiments.
So that is like a very innovative way of, experimenting with
Yes.
self-learning.
Yes, democratic way of teaching. There, even the principals are not called by name. Just they are called by name. They are not called by madam, sir, or like that. Right from attender to principal, everybody is equal.
Everybody is a learner
Yes.
out there.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is how we are experimenting with those concepts. And there we do not follow the state prescribed syllabus. We have developed our own modules. There is a module development team, material research and development team with experts in each subject. They develop the material modules. On the same concept, they will have different grades of knowledge module, so that it is useful for all classes, right from class 6 to class 10. There are green schools or earth schools. The next one, earth school or green school. Here, we want to develop that green concept, eco-friendly concept, plastic-free campus. Of course, it is also at experimental level. Just we have started 2 campuses only, and we want to spread it to other campuses also. It is also an experiment, and we are trying to involve the students in agriculture, in growing crops, in rearing animals and birds. So they will be learning in the lap of nature. Of course, there is already kitchen garden in all the schools where land is available. And the state government has sponsored a prestigious program like Haritaharam.
Okay.
It is also a prestigious program where lakhs of plants, saplings are planted every year in the month of June and July. In the same manner, we have started 2 earth schools where the students will be learning in the lap of nature. It is also running very effectively. We have harvested 2 or 3 for the last 2 or 3 years, many types of yielding paddy and some types of dals, fruits. All these are coming, and there is some pisciculture also we are trying to develop. And we are trying to raise some animals and birds from this academic year. So this is also an experiment. And in view of developing the skills among students, we are shortly going to open coding school. The schools coding as a fourth language. Coding as a fourth language. We want to teach them coding without the help of the computers also. So this is going to be a big hit shortly. And from next year onwards, almost yesterday also there was a great discussion on this, day-long discussion on opening a coding school. So we are inviting some experts who have got some experience in the field. We want to hire knowledge partners wherever available, because the government teachers may not be well versed in such things. They are confined to academics only, curriculum only. So that is why whenever we need, we do not hesitate to take the services of the private people also. That is how we conduct communication skills, classes for communication skills, and even coding and summer samurai programs. All these programs are run by such agencies, private agencies. So we always think that there is talent among students in different fields, literary, cultural, and that is why we conduct at institution level, regional level, and even state level some competitions, and we give huge prizes, 10,000 rupees for a student who gets first prize in essay writing or elocution or spell bee, quiz. These are all individual prizes. If a student gets in all languages, in Telugu, our mother tongue, in English, even Hindi also, we do not discourage it. We encourage Hindi also. That is how we try to encourage these students by giving big prizes like 10,000 rupees for first prize, best performance, and 7,500 for second prize, and 5,000 for third prize also. And we want to make them know about youth parliament, science fair. They will exhibit number of exhibits, science exhibits. They will try to make. They will give them ample time, 15 days to 20 days for the state level science fair. From all regions, they come to one place, they gather at one place, prescribed place, and they try to show their exhibits. And the best team will be given best prizes. Science fair. Youth parliament, how the parliament runs in Delhi, how the speaker, how the prime minister, and how all these ministers argue, discuss, and how the bills are passed. These things are also shown. Yes, they are exhibited. I think there is that program also in the PPT. Okay, you can watch it in the PPT.
Yes,
Where youth parliament, and not only youth parliament, we took them to the international level also, Model United Nations. Yes, we wanted to give them such exposure, how the United Nations, how the General Assembly takes place, how the Secretary General runs the United Nations, the meetings, how the various countries across the world, they participate, they argue against COVID or against something else, whatever it is. And naturally, the contemporary issues are taken. Contemporary issues are discussed in Youth Parliament and Model United Nations. Just on January 25th, we conducted it in spite of COVID restrictions. We conducted it at Hyderabad, and all the students, selected students, best performance were called from various districts, and they performed beautifully in the presence of the Minister for Tribal Welfare. So it is also encouraging for them, and at the same time, they are given very huge amount. 10,000 is a huge amount for a student studying 6th class or 8th class. So there are various categories, sub-juniors, juniors, seniors. 6th to 8th, it is sub-juniors. 9th to 10th, juniors. And intermediate, +2 level, they are called seniors. That is how we grade them. Nearly 10 to 12 lakhs amount is disbursed to them, given away to them in the name of prizes at state level. That is how we try to encourage, we try to create platforms to make them exhibit their talent.
Yes, sir. It's like making them academically strong, making
Yes.
them acquire skills for being market ready or industry ready, and then developing an entire personality by developing holistic attributes in them.
Yes.
So yeah, it's an all-round development.
All
in a
round development.
platform. Yeah.
Yes. And now the program is going on in our TSAT channel in our state, where the students every day take classes for 30 minutes. As you have said, I am the in charge of that program. Every day, 2 students across the state, the selected states, there are selected students from various districts. They come to Hyderabad, and with prior preparation on the topic, they come to Hyderabad, and we take them to the studio. They present the lesson for 30 minutes. And the best students, of course, we give them some 1,500 rupees for the +2 student and 1,000 rupees for the school student. And the best, and we will form a committee. And the best performer, best presenter, best performance, best presentation will be given 30,000 rupees also. After that, we will scrutiny them, we will examine them closely. So these super students, we call them super students, where we do not have sufficient teachers, where we do not have, where we have dearth of hands, suitable hands. These super students will help them. This time we have selected the super students from what you have said, the village learning circles, where they performed very well at village learning circles. We selected those students from such clusters, and we run the show with them, and they are making good presentations on the TV. That is how it is also a big hit every year. And every year our students look forward to watching these programs in the month of February or March. They want to compete. They want to show their talent. And cultural programs are also there. Very effective cultural programs and very colorful ones. We spend lakhs of rupees or sometimes 1 crore also for these programs. So every opportunity is created to make them focused, to make them enlightened, to keep them enlightened, to enrich them with all such programs. So that is why co-curricular activities are more important. And there are 2 programs in your in the PPT also. They are called Impact and Quest. Very important programs there. Impact. On the last working day of every quarter, we invite alumni, old students of the institution, or local officials, even the parents. We invite them on the last working day of every quarter. We send them home 3 times a year. In the month of October, September or October, in the month of January, and at the end of April after summer ride. So these 3 times we invite alumni, we invite parents, we invite even officials, local officials. We want to motivate them to come back on the reopening day, to have good habits, to change the attitude of the parents as well, because tribal parents are illiterates. Most of them are habituated to drinking or some other bad habits. We want to change their mindsets. And Quest, is one more program where our teachers go to the villages, go to the homes of the students. They want to study the socio-economic background of the students. It is also very important. Thrice a year, we call them to the institution, whereas thrice a year, we send our teachers to the homes of the village students, where they try to study the socio-economic background of the students, and in what way we can help them. We try to sort out, we try to help them out, and we give them cash prizes also whenever they require. So we try to give financial assistance though for those who make remarkable achievements at a national level or state level. That is how we are running the schools. And any more to speak or any more questions too?
Yeah, so thank you so much for enlightening us with the entire activity and the work process of the schools. So it's really heart touching to know that these schools are working so wholeheartedly with such innovative options to enlighten the tribal students out there. Yeah. So, I have a question. So, being a resident of the northeastern region of India, I would like to ask this question. Sir, as you know, northeastern region of India is the home to many tribal communities
Yes.
since ancient time. So, as an individual who has closely worked with these communities in Telangana,
Yes.
so what are your views regarding the tribal education scenario in the northeastern region when compared to that of in the state of Telangana?
Yes.
And so what are the things that our region, that is Northeast, needs to learn and inculcate from the way of tribal engagement in education that is taking place in your state of work? Yeah.
Yes.
So, yeah.
It's a good question, Pallavi. Actually, this residential concept, of course, age-old concept, Gurukula system, but it was almost 50 years ago. It was again established by the late Prime Minister, or the then Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh, P.V. Narasimha Rao. After that, the number gradually increased. These have gone deep into the minds of the villages now. This concept should really be implemented in all the states. That is why the government of India has recently come up with establishing Ekalavya model residential schools, where the tribal population is considerably good. I think all these 7 sisters or 8 sisters might have got good number of EMR schools. I don't know how whether you have got those schools or not. But in our state, we got 20 to 25 EMR schools where the tribal population is good. Actually, our Gurukulam schools are meant for boys and girls separately. It is not co-education. It is not co-education. Whereas in EMR schools, we find co-education. And right from class 6 to +2 level. And they will be following central syllabus. Whereas in our schools, we follow only the state syllabus. So in Northeast states, this concept should go deep into the minds of the people, because we have got CROs and Department of Alumni Relations, and even the public representatives also. Every year, they give representations to the Chief Minister to establish 1 or 2 new schools in their constituencies. Such sort of demand should be there from the public representatives. While the governments nowadays, they are shirking away from their responsibilities. They are trying to privatize the institutions. They are trying to disown their responsibilities. This demand is really, we should appreciate them. That is why every year we are getting 5 or 6 new schools. And they are, of course, they are for boys and girls separately. That is how the demand is more. Even our CROs, Department of Alumni Relations, they go to the parents, they request them, they persuade them to join to admit their wards, their students, their children in these residential schools. Such sort of management is here.
Yes.
I do not find such sort of management there in the Northeast. I saw the Arunachal Pradesh people in our Hyderabad making a show for 2 or 3 hours in the NIRD, National Institute for Rural Development, is located at Rajendra Nagar, Hyderabad, where the Arunachal Pradesh, they were exhibiting marvelously. Really, it was a great vision to watch such a program. And there was some IAS officer also from that Arunachal Pradesh in those days, Tigidi, AK Tigidi.
Okay.
And there are many such officials who have worked here. Our SR Shankaran, who hails from Tripura, who worked there in Tripura for some time. The great B.D. Sharma, Dr. B.D. Sharma, yes, who was the SC/ST chairman, who worked as the vice chancellor of, I think it is Meghalaya University for some time. There were some agitations which he subsided very easily. He was given a great regard by the late prime ministers. So such people we should have such people. And the public awareness is also equally important. The organizations, the civil right activists, all should work for establishment of such schools. Then only the problem in these areas will be solved.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you so much, sir, for your insights. And I believe like our region will definitely improve in this area in the coming years ahead. So now if our viewers have any questions, the floor is open. Our speaker is here. You can put up your questions if you have any.
Participants, you can unmute.
So if we don't have any question coming, so let me just ask you like one last question.
Yes, you can ask any other question.
Okay, someone is there.
Yes.
So you can ask your question, sir. Yeah.
This is Milind, and my question is that you know, we have similar vision where we wanted to work with the government school.
Yes.
But we have different SMEs, like subject matter expert, like on animal and environment, early childhood, STEM education, and what am I? One more thing, I forgot what it was.
Right.
So we would like to approach the government, okay, to say that, give us a model school, a school that where we would like to start this, bringing animal to kids' life and STEM education and farming, organic farming, and all that.
Organic farming.
Okay.
It is also
Where
a
do I
part of
start?
schools.
Yeah. But we do not know. I mean, we are planning to go and ask for a model school. But do you have any tips or guidance how to make the first step?
Sir, right. It is a good question, sir. Then I would like to tell you that why I request you to visit our schools once, so that you can have a clear picture. Organic farming, plastic-free campus, eco-friendly campus, all these are a part of green concept or at schools. And we are taking the help of some NGOs also, if necessary. And we can share our knowledge, we can share the information, and we can share various concepts if we meet once physically.
See, it's a Corona time and traveling is difficult, but that's
yes,
a benefit
yeah.
also
Agree.
that we can do a webinar where we can see your
Yes.
campus maybe.
Yes.
So yes, definitely. So we can have a virtual tour of your campus.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nowadays, it is not. It is better to stay back at home instead of
Yeah.
visiting the other places.
Maybe you can share a video or something like that where we can see it.
Definitely, sir. Definitely, I will get them. I will get them from the schools concerned, and I
Okay.
will send them to you, our Pallavi.
And so how many schools do you have?
Actually, 160 schools, sir, now, presently,
Okay.
and including degree colleges.
And it happened in how many years? Like it took how many years? It took how many years?
Before the formation of this state, they were just around 80 or 90.
Okay.
Yes, after the formation of the new state, we have increased the number to almost, we have doubled the number. Now it has come to 164, right from class 1 to +2, +3 degree level. Yes, and
Would love to
we are
come and
trying to-
visit them.
Sir,
Yeah.
pardon?
I said would love to visit someday. I think
Sure, sir.
Avishkar works with you, right?
Sir?
The
Avishkar,
NGO
yes,
called
yes, yes.
Avishkar.
Yes, Avishkar is our knowledge partner every year. Of course, last February was their last training. After that, we got disconnected due to COVID, and
Okay.
we are planning to have that same training shortly.
Okay.
Yes, Avishkar
Alright.
people are closely associated with us for the last 3 years.
They only recommended us
Yes,
because
it is
we are
also,
also
yes,
associated.
yes. It is also a non-profit
are-
organization working for the
Yes.
educational development.
And Sarit Sharma is also a co-founder of Enajori,
Yes,
our organization.
sure, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Milind sir, for putting
Thank
up your question. Sir, time's running out and we are heading towards the end of today's session. So, sir, as a last question, sir, if you can just briefly answer it, so that would be really lovely. So, you have worked with a specific segment of the society
Yes.
in terms of education, that is the tribal community.
Yes.
So, do you believe like there's certain amount of difference in the educational structure in between the traditional or mainstream way of teaching with that of those followed in the Gurukulams? And so what are those elements in tribal welfare Gurukulams which mainstream educational institutes can definitely learn and imbibe? Yeah.
Yes. Gurukulams are basically the institutions where the students and teachers stay together. Naturally, they are supposed to stay together. Of course, where the infrastructure is not available, our teachers are shuttling from the nearby places, but they stay in the school till 10 o'clock, 10 p.m. Right from 5 a.m. to 10 p.m., some teachers will be available on the campus. They will be clarifying the doubts of the students whenever possible, wherever they get. And all-round development includes sports, activities, curricular, co-curricular, extracurricular, all these activities. That is how we are trying to meet the needs of the students. And at the same time, the mainstream of traditional teaching is concerned with only textbook teaching, syllabus completion, all these things. This is all just, we do not give much importance to that. Of course, it is all a part of our program, instruction hours. We conduct exams. It is all just 30%. Whereas 70% of the time is devoted for other activities. That is how we are trying to manage the students. We are trying to develop them or make them rethink. It is not the curriculum that decides their future. They may be interested in many other skills. They may become signing military officers. They may become fine arts masters, music teachers, musicians. They may become well versed in coding. So all these things, Summer Samurai program, Ignite Fest program, all these are a part of such policy where we design 70% of the activities are devoted for other activities, 30% is confined for teaching.
Okay.
So these teaching methods or teaching things are very least to us. That is how we are making them enlightened.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your answers and being patient with all our queries and questions. So, as a concluding remark for this session, I would like to add that education is a crucial element for development of our society, state, and the nation. And equally important is the access of quality education
Right.
for all the strata of our society. And moreover, it is indispensable in helping tribal people cope with national integration. So, education will also determine the prosperity, success, and security of tribal people, and as a result, ensure an equitable society. So, what you are doing is really commendable and highly inspirational. I definitely believe, along with me, our viewers have also had an enriching session. So, as we got to know about the dynamics of tribal education and a beautiful initiative of tribal welfare Gurukulams, which you are a part of. Thank you so much, sir,
Thank you.
for taking your time to be a part of today's session, despite of having a busy schedule.
It's
We
my pleasure.
highly appreciate your effort and dedication for conducting this session. And at the end of the session, our special mention and gratitude to all our viewers who have taken out their time and have joined us in today's session. Your presence is highly valued, and we look forward to have you with us in our further segments.
Sure.
Take care. Have a nice time. Thank
Thank
you so much, one and
As
all.
you have, at the very beginning itself, you have pointed out Nelson Mandela's quote.
Yes,
And it is written on the walls of every institution in our management.
yes, sir.
Education is the
Valuable
most
quote.
powerful tool.
Yes,
Education is the most powerful tool to have the social change.
yes,
Yes, that
sir.
is written on the walls of our institutions everywhere in the state.
Sir,
So
that was
we want to
really a good
inspire them. We want to
coincidence.
motivate them with such quotations.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.